Hello world, I'm Twist, and welcome back to part 2 of Raw Recap and Review from today's episode of December 1st, 2025 from Glendale, Arizona. And we're back up, and after the segment with Stephanie Vaquer, we lead to the promo with The Vision. The Vision walkout. I guess it's pretty much confirmed that Logan is now with the group. Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, they all walked down to the ring. And Paul Heyman, he gets off the mic. He wants to shout out all the people involved. He shouts out Brock Lesnar for still being insane because he's old as hell and he's still big as hell for no reason. Uh, he shouts out Drew McIntyre for being a great partner for them. He shouts out Bronson Reed for tsunamiing everybody in the match. He shouts out Logan Paul for being the megastar he is and being a perfect addition to the group. And then he lets it out. He lets it know that January 5th, it's official that Braun Breaker will be fighting against CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. And after that announcement, Paul Heyman hands Braun Breaker the mic, so Braun can get his shit off. Man, he gets on the mic, and he was like, Braun Breaker's on the mic. He's like, I'm pretty disappointed about everything that went down. He said he's not mad about the mask, man. He's more mad about how it was so easy to beat CM Punk after hearing all the things people have said about him. He said he did all that just for CM Punk to be a soft ass bitch. His words, not my words. That's what he said. It's not what I said. I'm just the messenger, guys. I just quote people. That's his quote. Then he went on to say that how Punk tried to ruin his career because in the spot in the match they do like he's on Cody's shoulders, and Punk went for the clothesline, and Braun actually hitting his neck on the ground, which was pretty scary. I'm glad he's okay. But he said, ever since that, you tried to ruin my career, I'm going to ruin yours. And he also mentioned a thing that at this past WrestleMania, that CM Punk said, well, maybe one day you'll be able to do a promo with the big dogs. And he said, well, I'm showing you I can do a promo with the big dogs. I ain't gonna, and it felt real. It felt super real that he was going off on him. And he ended it poignant with saying, I'm going to show on January 5th who's the real best in the world. I ain't gonna lie. Great promo by Braun Breaker. It was a great segment. This really made Braun Breaker look like the future of the WWE. I ain't gonna lie. Braun Breaker's been impressing me a lot. So I can't wait to see that match. And to be honest with you, that boy Braun probably gonna win that match. He probably gonna beat Punk. Unless there's some shenanigans involved, I can see Braun winning that match. After that segment, Jackie Redmond, one of the interviewers, sees Jey Uso walking to his car, and she's asking all these questions, and he's dejected. He's ignoring all of it, and he's pretty sad. He's pretty depressed after losing. And he into it, and what he ends it with is pretty telling. He says, maybe Roman was right. Maybe Roman was right, and what Roman said was what he said last week was that to CM Punk and Cody that the belts look better on him. He said they don't look good on Jey Uso, and that's pretty sad. That's pretty sad that Jey doesn't believe in himself, even after beating Gunther. Jey is very dejected in himself, and I guess they're probably gonna make this to find a way to turn Jey heel. I don't know, but it's pretty interesting what they're going to do with the storyline with him losing. Speaking of Gunther, we get to the second semifinals matchup, which is between Gunther and Solo Sikoa in the Last Time Is Now tournament. And the match started off pretty slow with a lot of wrestling tie-ups, because they're big guys, they're big and burly guys. But then it gets off into a striking exchange, punching, slapping. They both try to bump into each other to try to knock each other down. And it actually ended up with Solo winning by getting a big bump before they went to the commercial break. Solo Irish whipping Gunther. He actually does what I've done many times in 2K is when you Irish whip somebody, and before you get to them, you could drop down. He dropped down to Gunther dropped down to the ground, which is hilarious. And then off the rebound, he does the leapfrog. He jumps over him, and that led to a big ass boot, which went to the commercial break. So Gunther was on top before the break. We get back into the matchup from the commercial break, and he's doing joint manipulation to Solo's thumb that he does the spike with, and he's getting with a lot of chops to the chest. But Solo locks in. He gets tired of that. He proceeds to hit him with a body slam, and that led it up to Gunther hitting a superplex off the top rope. After the superplex, it led to a striking exchange that capped off with Gunther doing a big boot, with Solo doing a super kick, with Gunther hitting the clothesline, but then a big ass spike out of nowhere to Gunther's throat, which led to a commercial break. But he did kick out after that. It led to a commercial break though. Get back from the break, Gunther gets another big clothesline in. That leads to Solo trying to hit a Samoan drop, another kick out. Gunther's fired up. He hits him with them chops, but then Solo ignores it. He gently ignores it, hits him with a spinning Solo, and then goes to the top rope to hit a Uso splash, which is great. I've never seen him do that, but it led to another kick out. Solo picks him up, goes for the spike. Gunther weaves that he Gunther weaves the spike. He gets him to a sleeper, and as Solo's fighting the sleeper, he gets to the turnbuckle. And when he gets to the turnbuckle, Gunther hits him with a German suplex, and he ends up ripping the turnbuckle pad off. So now the turnbuckle pad's exposed, and that leads to a segment where I forgot to mention that Tala Tonga, who was the MFT, who was with Solo's co-host, is basically his manager, and Tala Tonga cheats by booting Gunther and holding him down, but the ref catches him, and as the ref's dealing with that, Gunther gets Solo back in the ring, and he goes, well, the ref's not looking, kicks him in the nuts. He kicks Solo in the nuts, power bomb, end of the match. There's another fun match. Pretty back and forth, what I didn't expect. They made Solo Sikoa look very strong in this match, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it another 4. This is a very fun back and forth aggressive match. I did not expect this match to be as good as it was, because like they're two big guys, but they're really flexible. They're very like good moving. So I'm highly impressed. I would love to see them fight again, But so then we have LA Knight walk out after that. He gets a little face off with Gunther. He's talking smack, LA Knight, yeah. And then that's how. And after that, we go into commercial break. After that, we get Pierce meeting up with AJ Lee. Not that AJ Lee, Dragon Lee and AJ Styles, and they're talking about how they want to defend the belts next week, and they're gonna be fighting the War Raiders, and if they had this much entertaining match with the New Day, I wouldn't be surprised if next week's match is pretty entertaining too. Then we get news that Rey Mysterio will be fighting Finn Balor next week, and that leads to an interview where Rey is talking to Jackie Redman about how he wants to knock down every member of Judgment Day to get to his son, and then Jackie mentioned, it could be a chance for him to get the IC title again. He's like, maybe I want to get that belt, but then and Logan Paul interrupts, and he basically tells Ray that the IC title belongs to the Vision, which is interesting that he says that, and that Ray should get back. And Ray's like, what you gonna do about it? And, Logan, he gets into talking crap, and then Ray does what Ray does. Smack the taste out that man mouth. They all break him back up. And the funniest line from this segment is, as Logan's getting help, they say, "You broke, I'm rich. You're broke, I'm rich." Like, has he never seen Rey Mysterio in his Gucci fits? Like, Rey Mysterio be having LV, Gucci, Ferragamo. He be having all the designer brands on, but I digress. And now we get to the final match, the final segment of the evening, the main event. We got Rhea Ripley, Io Sky versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. They're not friends. And we get Alexa Bliss and Io Sky to start the matchup. But Alexa gets a pretty quick tag to Charlotte to do a tag team move. He ends up lifting up Alexa to get a drop kick on Io. Charlotte is wrestling Io. Io's really close to the rope near Rhea Ripley, and Charlotte goes for a kick on Io, but ends up kicking Rhea off the apron. And it was interesting something interesting happened after that. She went near outside and the rush, it was an accident. It was an accident, which is interesting because we're wrestling here. Who cares about an accident right now? And then they proceed to get on wrestling with Io after that. Io reverses a Charlotte move, rolls her up, hits her with that stomp to the ground, which looks nasty every time, and that's how they go into the commercial break. Get back from the break, and Rhea Ripley is fighting Alexa Bliss this time. She has her in a prison trap, and she ends up being hurricanrana into Charlotte Flair, and that leads to a moment of, oh, hit the partner off the apron, or whoopsie moment. Like what are we doing right now? Why are we having whoopsie moments? It's like, is hitting someone on the apron like not a face thing to do, because like it's not fair. I guess I mean, if I'm looking at you, like it's kind of fair in my eyes, but I digress. And then that leads into a moment, a cool little tag team moment with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. Io Sky gets Alexa Bliss on the ropes. She does a 619, kicks Alexa Bliss in the back, which leads to Rhea Ripley being able to get a Shining Wizard on her. But we need a kick out after that. After that, they get into a segment of Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair getting a hot tag. But I love how their hot tags is never them like getting to the ring with energy. They get into the ring and have an aura off. They get into the ring to stare at each other like, we gonna walk in slowly in this ring and we gonna fight back and forth. They both get into a ton of weaves and reversals and back and forths. They get into punches, get into chops. Woo, 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 woo. And then Rhea Ripley gets the headbutt. Boom. Just throws her noggin into her, and it leads into a double down, which gets into another commercial break. After the commercial break, we get back to Rhea Ripley and Charlotte fighting, and Rhea Ripley tries to lift up Charlotte. She botches a little bit, and also looks like her bra's about to pop out for Charlotte. But she lands the Razor's Edge, which she was going for. Boom. Io Sky goes for the moonsault, but another kick out because Charlotte Flair is invincible. After the kick out, Rhea Ripley tries to hit Riptide on Charlotte, but ends up getting into a reversal spike DDT, and she sells that DDT perfectly. It literally looks like her head hits the bottom every time. She tags Alexa in, she gets another spike DDT, and that was nasty. but of course it gets kicked out of because Rhea Ripley is also invincible. Charlotte boots Io Sky, tags in Alexa Bliss before she hits the natural selection, which leads to Alexa Bliss hitting Sister Abigail on Io, but Rhea comes in to save the day because Rhea is going to save the day. She can't let Io die, you know. So now that Rhea's in the ring against Alexa, Alexa ends up actually going for Sister Abigail, and it looks hilarious because the size discrepancy between them is so funny. But it makes sense she doesn't land it because it gets reversed into a Riptide, where Io Sky gets a moonsault in. But Charlotte Flair is now here to save the day, and of course, because it is Monday Night Raw, and it's the main event, and Triple H doesn't like things to end happily, the Kabuki Warriors pop out and they interrupt the match. So double disqualification. We have no real number one contender. They proceed to whoop their ass. Kabuki Warriors proceed to beat up the rest of the partners, and then we get Lyra and Bayley. They pop out and they stop it, and they're saving the day, right? And they're doing everything right, you know. But then we get the Judgment Day. Raquel Rodriguez, Roxanne Perez, Liv Morgan, they proceed to whoop everybody. Kabuki Warriors, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss, Rio, they whoop everybody. And it gets into a moment where Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez are in the ring, and they're holding the belts, the tag team belts. And Roxanne looks to Liv, and she goes, "Here you go." And Liv takes it. She's like, "No, you." And then she gives the belt up. But I was like, oh, okay. She rocking with her. And she lifts up Raquel and Roxanne's hands, letting them know like they're the new tag champs. So it looks like we're going to have some cohesion, you know. Raquel and Roxanne are going to be tag champs. And Liv is going to go for the big belt, you know, the World Heavyweight Championship. So we end up with Judgment Day on top instead of Mommy, and sad because who doesn't want Mommy on top? But yeah, that's going to be the end of... And oh wait, before I get into that review of the match, I'm gonna give that match 4.5 stars. 4.5 stars. Great match, great main event. I don't know which one is better, but all the matches banged. All the matches were very entertaining. But yes, that's going to be the end of today's Raw recap and review. I was highly entertained by Raw. Raw's been pretty fun lately. It's been pretty good. And I really enjoyed that they kept the energy high even after losing like Roman Reigns every night and Brock Lesnar and everything. Like they're kind of cooking. The match ending for the main event sucked because we won a conclusion and things, but that's probably gonna lead up to ended up being a 4-way tag team title match. Which if it's a ladder match, even better. But I can't wait to see, and I can't wait to review next week's episode. I'm Twist. If you enjoyed this episode, if you enjoy my content, if you enjoy my face, like it. Like the video. Share it with somebody to see my face. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of my face. If you want to see more of this content. And I don't really know how to end these videos, man. I guess except for like doodles.